Hello and welcome to CSU's SAHI iDays. I'm Dale Stewart, co-coordinator of the SAHI program.
And I'm Carmen Rivera, the other half of the co-coordinator of the SAHI program. So glad to have you in this interview journey with us.
Absolutely. Congratulations on making it to the iDays stage of our process in selecting next year's cohort. We understand that we are in a pandemic and we are doing this interview process under conditions that we never would have imagined and frankly would never have chosen for ourselves. But in doing this, we are all in this together, and our objective is to make sure that this is as positive an experience for you as it can be. In light of that, we encourage you to take some time for yourselves during the days. However, we also need you and want you to be on your A game, particularly in the scheduled part of the days on Thursdays with your faculty interview, with your participation in the other group sessions that we are doing, and of course, during your assistantship interviews on Fridays. So Carmen is going to let us know what those are going to look like, interview days.
Yeah, for sure. So we know it's like super strange, right, to be doing interview days in a remote kind of way. What we would normally be doing in residential interview days would be that you'd arrive to Fort Collins, you'd experience what it's like to see the community, you'd get to meet your other folks who are interviewing at the same time with you. It'd be a really kind of more communal experience. In this remote space, it's going to be a little bit different. And what we are really trying to hope to create some of that community, despite the lack of togetherness, if you will. And what bringing your A game might look like for you in this environment might be a little bit different. In some ways, it might be a little bit easier in that you'll have some more significant breaks between things. But in other ways, it might be a little bit more challenging because sometimes it's hard to communicate via computer, right? So we're all prepped on this side to be ready for knowing that we're going to be all doing our best in this space. We've intentionally designed the interview process to have time for you to have some downtime and some time that you'll be in sessions. We've also clearly identified what is required of you to participate in and what is optional. We also know that in some of the things that are optional, people sometimes feel pressured to participate in because I think it's an evaluative experience, meaning that we're going to look at, oh, Carmen didn't show up to this session, so I'm going to think that that means that you're not really interested. We actually don't function that way in our selection process, in that we really want folks to be participating in the best way that they can in the things that are required. So your faculty interview is an example. Your assistantship interview will only count towards your assistantship selection, not necessarily your admissions to the program. So we really try to make sure that we're as clear in your schedule once you get your personalized schedule, what is required and what is optional, and want to make sure that you know that. And speaking of your schedule, you'll get that shortly, and it will be individualized for you. And the general sense is that on Wednesday evening, there's going to be a session with prospective students, with our current students, really designed to help you get an understanding and a feel for what our interview days is going to be, right, in our remote setting. So they'll give you some insights and tips. They'll help orient you to kind of what the day means and what it feels like, because they've all gone through this themselves. So that'll be great. So that's only one session on Wednesday. On Thursday is like kind of the more academic side of the interview, in that you'll have your faculty interview. You'll also be in some sessions where you get to work with your peers. You'll have a sample class session. You'll also get to hear some information about the assistantships, like the supplemental assistantships in the fraternity and sorority life office, as well as a housing session, because that's such a popular and such a high demand assistantship. The other thing too that you'll get to do is hear from students, current students, in a student panel. So that day is really kind of rooted in you getting to know about the program, the academic side of it. The second day is your assistantship interviews. So you get to decide which assistantships that you would like to identify as your priorities, and then we will try to match that up with the folks who are also interviewing you. So you might have anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 or more interviews on that day. So each individual person's schedule on that day will be a little bit different on the assistantship day. So no worries. If you're having any questions about any of that stuff, you can contact any of our team beforehand or during the time. We will all be available all of the days during interview days. Also, technologies sometimes, right? In that sometimes our Zoom link doesn't work, or internet goes down, or whatever else happens. Know that we are all really ready and understanding for those realities. But if you have any issues or any challenges, please feel free to email or contact Bree or Diane, and they'll be your first point of contact for any of the kind of technical issues or glitches. Otherwise, we've prepared all of our faculty, all of our staff, all of our students to be as prepared as possible for this remote delivery of our interview days. And really what we want to say is that everyone's really just excited to be here with you. And we're trying to do this in a way that is most intentional and welcoming and allows you to be a part of this process in the best way that we can.
Again, welcome to our iDays. We are so excited to be able to meet and interact with you while you were here. Some words about sort of advice as you go into this. Yes, we are interviewing you, and our process is competitive. However, you all are also choosing us. We encourage you to ask good questions, to take in the perspectives of the variety of people you will be interacting with, faculty, current students, the potential assistantship supervisors, all of us together. Think about what you need and what you want in your graduate school experience and how SAHI can help contribute to you effectively gaining those experiences during the 2 years you would be in the program. Also, we would be encouraging you to drink water if you were here because of the altitude. But I will still encourage you to drink water throughout the day, to stay hydrated, to help mitigate stress, to make sure you don't get headaches during the day as you're spending a lot of time online and in front of a screen. For those breaks that Carmen mentioned, step away from the computer, get up, stretch, get a snack. Do the things that will help you be able to endure throughout the day and show up authentically. We want to know who you are, genuinely and sincerely. So please let us know that person. We're excited to meet them.
We also know how hard it is to do some of that in this virtual remote environment, right? If we were in real life, there'd be a couple minutes before an actual interview. People are like chit-chatting, right? There'd be a little room off to the side with some refreshments, and we'd be like, oh, where are you from? And so some of that is going to be a little bit harder. And know that on our end, we're really going to try to do our best to try to set some of that up within the interview processes, within the small group sessions, so that we can get to know each other in a different kind of way. Because once you hit start on the meeting, that we get to right to business, and that sometimes is hard to show up in a more personal way. But we really want to encourage you to do that in a more authentic kind of way, because we're going to be doing the same. And we hope that that can come across in this remote environment as much as possible. We want to wish you luck on your time. By showing up authentically in who you are, we are confident that you'll make the choice. We hope that the choice is Colorado State, but we also know that it might not be. So really want to encourage you to be authentic and to be honest with yourselves, with us. Of course, if you have any challenges or issues, let us know. We will be available in lots of forms, email, chat, in the sessions. Talk to any of the folks, your faculty, your assistantship folks. They'll be able to answer many of your questions. And then lastly, you're assigned a buddy, which is a current student in the SAHI program, and they're probably, if I'm being honest, the best people to have responses to your questions. They're here for support, both morally and technically throughout the time that we're here, and want you to just know that this is a very small field, as it turns out. And so you'll probably likely see a lot of these folks later on in your career. If you don't come to CSU, or people choose another place, you'll see them somewhere else at a conference. And so just to make sure that we're building community in that light, that we're all committed to this field and interested in this field, and to build that community. So we're so excited that you have gotten this far in the process and have chosen to apply to CSU and consider us as your graduate option. So please let us know if you have any questions, and we're here to support you through your interview day process. Good luck, and we'll see you in the virtual space.
See you soon.
See you soon.